So, if goal is, if goal is, I can't keep walking around here being nervous when I'm first talking to myself. I can't. All right. I'm going to keep rolling. What I was going to say, well, what I'm about to say. If freedom is your goal, if freedom is something that you have always wanted to have, what does that look like for you? I had to ask myself that. What does freedom look like for me? When you think about the word, beyond a time of what you've seen in your life from how they've shown freedom, like historically, for me, freedom is having that freedom of creating, of being, of evolving, of allowing myself to shed, and also allowing myself to have faith in knowing that there is better ahead. Because sometimes, for me, don't know if this is for you, for me, in past situations, those emotions would just take over. And even to the present time, I would continue to allow those things to ruminate. And that can no longer happen if I desire freedom. It can no longer happen. So how do you do that, Kendrika? Like, how do you, you say you want freedom, but how can you allow yourself to be present if all you're thinking of is like things from the past? Well, one thing I had to do was to forgive myself. And with forgiveness, that comes with me understanding who I decided to be at that time and why. Why was I choosing to be a certain way? Why was I choosing to allow certain things to continue on and accepting it, you know, and forgiving myself for that and then allowing it to rest? The funny thing is, well, not funny, but interesting, is when it came to being in the present and knowing and acknowledging that you've healed from certain things. Sometimes you can still want to pick it back up as like having a form of curiosity when you don't have to have that form of curiosity anymore when it comes to certain things. You do not. And as long as you know that when you allow yourself to be free from the things that you've healed from, you've allowed yourself to be free from experiences and people and things you thought were supposed to come on and stay, you can allow yourself to also grieve. And no one talks about the grieving process that you have to go through. It's most times just thinking that, okay, it's over, but then you're storing these things inside. You're having these physical funerals that you may go to, homegoing services, whatever you would like to name them. You have these physical services that you would like to go to when other people have passed on, but yet you still are allowing these dead things to stay inside and with you. Earlier today, when I was writing, and I was saying to myself that I could no longer be that bag lady, you know, that bag lady that's carrying all of that luggage of old feelings, old emotions, old people, old experiences, old perceptions and trauma minded things that I have no longer decided to carry, you know. And when I was thinking about that song, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be a bag lady. You know, you will hurt yourself the more you choose to carry something that no longer serves you in the highest ways. That means if you have allowed yourself to sit, to reflect, to grieve, to forgive, to release, to thank, it no longer belongs. So you can pack light. You can be like, oh, I don't need this no longer. I no longer need this in my bag. I no longer need to carry this. And it is okay for me to let it go. Because being a person that loves, being a person that empathizes, being a person who knows what it's like to feel abandoned, you don't want any other person to feel it. And you have to understand that what you are doing is not abandonment. It's unconditional love, first for yourself, secondly for those that you do love and that no longer are supposed to be in this journey in your life at this time. And yet you still extend love, trust, the best to them, even in their absence. Now, I can be completely transparent and say, when I used to say these things, at first it was a form of self-sabotage, of thinking that I did not deserve people in my life, even when I was giving so much of myself in my life, and I felt like I did not even have that much to give. And then I realized that my presence, my love, my time, something so valuable, things that are so valuable, that I felt that I know that I was giving freely and lovingly and authentically and genuinely, were things that I could not get back. And I was okay with that because I know that I had more than enough to give. I had to learn that. I used to think that I was being depleted until I learned that what you give is what you choose to give. And you don't have to allow yourself to feel as if someone would take it and you just continue to take it and not receive. So as I gave, I had to learn that I was also worthy of receiving. So you don't have to be that bag lady. You don't have to go back and forth and being like, should I keep it? I should keep it in your possession of having that ownership, because you're fearful of someone else taking it and not knowing what to do with it. And, even not treating it as if you would know how to treat it. Oh my God, I feel so much better, because at first I was nervous. Like, it takes me a minute. I can honestly say that it takes me a little minute to get past the nerves and all that stuff like that. So it helps me to be more present. It feels good. So yes, you don't have to allow yourself to be that bag lady or that bag man or bag person, to carry things anymore. That's just that's just symbolic for all of the things that you've allowed yourself to carry up until this present moment. Same thing I'm telling you, I've told myself. And if you allow yourself to, again, not only sit with it, reflect on it, forgive, gain an understanding, gain an inner standing on what it is that you've learned about yourself, about that experience, even with those people, you gain a higher perspective and you know how to let go. Because none of us come into this world just a certain way of how we've been perceived. It's just things that we've learned along the way, and some things that we attached to, some things we connected with, some things we codependently wanted to keep. And in order to have that freedom, it comes with a certain level of trust. Woof. Trust? trust is a serious thing that I've learned to have with God. Because at first it was not easy to trust God. You call God it's like, again, you got to get past that stage and be honest about it. That sometimes you really thought that God was like people. Sometimes you did. Sometimes I didn't even know that I did. You really didn't want to think that God was like people, but most times it's like that's what you kept hearing. Like God don't like that. Just like God is disappointed in you. God don't, just the criticism of how people would make you think that God was like, and God was nothing like that. I learned that for myself through my relationship that I had to learn with God, that God was nothing like that. God was nothing like that. It was their perceptions and their projections that were put onto me that I accepted until I learned to love and know God for myself. And not only did forgiveness come with that, unconditional love came with that, and again, trust came with that, to the point where I was really able to know that this is a relationship, the first and foremost relationship that I desire to always nurture, always allow myself to be a student, and also embrace that I've learned to know that I'm also a teacher in this, and just trust that this relationship right here is something that no one can tell me different about because of my experience that I allowed myself to have in it. No one can tell you about your experience. They can only tell you from their perspective. That's why you have to have the experience. That's why you also have to know that you are never alone. There was a quote that I heard about Maya Angelou, and I'm going to find it. Give me a second. Let me see. Okay, I found it. It says, I go forth alone, and I stand as 10,000. In the times when you've walked in rooms, in the times when you were in situations and experiences that, again, you never even thought that you would be in, from how high you thought of yourself. And somehow you're there, and that's okay. You have to remember that you were never alone in it. Same thing I had to remember for myself. And sometimes, oh man, I used to think that I was by myself, because all of these physical people are separated from me. All of these physical people are choosing not to embrace me, or choosing to, again, be separate from me. And I don't feel compatible with them anymore. I don't feel connected to them anymore. Where is my people? Who was with me? I had to remember not only God was with me, my ancestors was with me, people that have passed on that I know, that I've heard, are with me. And then I had to tell myself, it is impossible to think that you have been alone, because look at the things that you've allowed yourself to go through. The times when you felt alone, you still prayed. The times when you felt that you could not go forward, you still prayed. You still trusted. You still had that innate knowing. And then another day came. Same thing for you. You are never alone. You no longer have to be the bag lady or the bag man. You no longer have to hurt yourself with carrying things that you deserve to be free from. Even with me doing this video, it's been a while since I've posted. I can transparently say that there are moments where I had to be comfortable and just be free enough to just be myself. This is me. This is just who I am. This is just what I love to do. And I had to tell myself that there is no more of that. There's no more of just choosing to carry that. Well, I don't know. You do know. I know. I know from experience. And yet, I'm still willing to be a student in this life. I still know that God is always with me. I still know that I desire to not only help other people, but the only way that I can do that is by first helping myself, continuing to pour into myself so that I can also pour into other people. And I know that these experiences that came with powerful lessons were not just for me to keep. They're for me to share. And I desire to share them with you, whoever's watching. Not concerned about how fast I'm going to get there. I'm more concerned and more eager to just be free. To just be free. To be 33, this is what I was thinking about. To be 33 and to have had so many dreams since I was younger and so many things that I enjoy doing, and so many times when the things were just rehearsed, or so many things that I wanted to do, and yet I did not embark on it because of what? Because of what? Because of who? Because of when? Because of why? You're releasing yourself from all that. I released myself from all that because it's just simply me enjoying and simply just wanting to be free. So that's the same thing again that I would tell you. Embark on allowing yourself to just be free today. And any other time you need to rewatch this. Start writing. Start reflecting. Start healing. Start knowing that you can heal your life. Start knowing that you can heal yourself. When you say yourself, again, you know that you are not alone. God is with you. God is inside of you. So you are not healing alone, even though physically, because we got to talk about the physical world, that you may look alone. That's the illusion. That you're never alone. You don't have to worry because you're never alone. Okay. Oh my gosh, I did a video today. And I'm going to post it. And even when I'm doing these videos, I am encouraging myself to know that it's no rush. And that it is a powerful thing for me to walk in my gifts. I value my gifts. I value myself. I value the things that I know. I value the things that I've experienced. And I value the things that I continue to want to know. I desire to learn more about myself. I desire to also help encourage other people to want to know more about themselves, where you don't have to feel like you have to run. You don't have to feel like you have to rush. You don't have to feel those things. And when they do arise, because again, we are human beings. We're spiritual beings first, having a human experience. When we have those moments, you will have the tools in order to know how to come back to yourself. So, to all of those who have watched this video, I sincerely thank you. I thank you for your support. I thank you for allowing yourself to be present. Even if you came across this video and you just met me. Did I introduce myself? I don't even think so. I am Kendrika. I'm Kendrika. Nice to meet you. Nice to have your support. I don't even consider, like, you know how on social media people call them followers and, you know, things like that. I call you a supporter, a part of my community. And that's my whole purpose in this life, is just to gain more community and to really help those that you don't have to feel helpless, that are just desiring for something more. And you find it. And then you get excited and you're like, oh my God, I was praying about this. Did you hear yourself? Did you hear that you prayed about this? You did that. You did that. Yes, you did. Did you thank you? Because you spoke it and it came into fruition. So yeah, you're that powerful. Yeah. You're that powerful. You're that amazing. You are that person that you've always wanted to be. And I mean, you're still growing. So am I. And I love that. Oh my God, I'm so grateful that I get to grow. You know, just so grateful that I get to grow, that I don't have to stay the same. Right? So, oh my God, I have so many other videos to post, but we're just going to stay present. And yeah, this is really good. Thank you again for watching. I'm grateful for the growth. I'm grateful for the things that are really coming. The things that are already here first and the things that are coming. I pray for you to have much success, much love today, feeling better, because the better it gets, the better it gets. I heard that from Mix Diva. Y'all should follow her too. She's such a great person. So again, I love you and I thank you. And I love you. Take care.